Hi guys, today we're replacing the brake fluid on this Mitsubishi Mirage. See, this brake fluid is what's called hygroscopic and it absorbs moisture, so over time it absorbs that moisture, and when it boils it doesn't compress as well as it should do. It could leave you with a spongy pedal or no pedal at all. So as part of routine maintenance we're going to be replacing this brake fluid for the customer and getting a nice fresh one in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is clean up this cap and this reservoir, because I don't want any of these contaminants working their way into the fluid or into the system, damaging seals and whatnot. So if you just clean that off before you take it off, you know that nothing is going to get in there to damage it. And if you're wondering, I'm using Professor Toolbox cleaning products and just getting it nice and ready. Now with all that cleaned off, what I'm going to do is just take the cap off, set to one side, and we're going to remove as much of this old fluid as we possibly can. Right, so I had a little filter in there that I've removed just so I can get in there a bit better, and now what I've done is turkey basted as much fluid out as I possibly can. Right, I've now topped that back up with the clean stuff. We're going to go to the wheels, go to E3 Technical, I'll tell you the procedure for the manufacturer specification, and we're going to go through that now. So now what we're going to do is give this bleed screw a little bit of a clean up, because they are prone to rounding and seizing. This is a bit of prep time here. Should be okay. Now what else we're going to do is give it a very tight, tiny tap around the bleed nipple and the where it screws into, essentially into the back of the wheel cylinder, just to knock any rust free on the threads that might cause it to be a little bit tighter than we want it to be. Now it's time to set up our bleed bottle. Now it doesn't really matter how you do this. You can only do two things wrong. And that is, you'll let air back into the system or you let the master cylinder run dry. So it doesn't matter if you use a pressure bleeder like I am, or if you use your mate to pump the pedal whilst you do it. It doesn't matter, as long as you don't let any air back in the system and you don't let the master cylinder run dry. These air bubbles, you don't want them going back up. So as long as you stop them from going up, you're good. So like I said, it doesn't really matter how you do it, whether you pump the pedal, well, you get your mate to pump the pedal whilst you open the bleed nipple, or if you get one of those self-bleed bottles with the valves in. I've used this pressure bleeder to pump the fluid to the back wheel, or to all four wheels eventually. But again, it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you don't let any air back in the system and you don't let the master cylinder bleed dry or run dry. I seen a guy do this on Instagram. I thought I'd give it a try, so it went. It actually works really well. So if you haven't got a self-bleed bottle with the valves in, if you turn your bleed bottle upside down and then pump the fluid out like that, the dirty fluid will stay inside the bottle, but it'll push the clean fluid in, which would mean the clean fluid stays in the tube, no air can go back into the nipple, and you can literally just pump the pedal. It works. If it works for you, then it works. So give it a go if you don't have the correct equipment.